The 2 Series Gran Coupe is BMW's idea of what a small, stylised premium sports saloon should be. This second generation F74 version is a little sharper looking, a little sharper to drive, and quite a lot more sophisticated inside.
As before, the drive dynamics here are no different to those of a 1 Series, but as with that hatch, they have been lately sharpened in ways we'll get to in a minute. The engine choices, they're much the same as those of the 1 Series 2, kicking off with the 48-volt mild hybrid 1.5 litre 3-cylinder model, the one we're trying here, the 220, which offers 170 horsepower and is the variant that most will choose. It makes 62 in 7.9 seconds en route to 143 miles an hour, and that's quite as fast as you really need to go in this kind of car. If that's not fast enough, then you'll be directed to the mid-range 223 X-Drive, which uses a 4-cylinder unit, also with 48-volt mild hybrid tech, and puts out 218 horsepower. That variant's considerably more rapid, dispatching 62 in just 6.4 seconds en route to 155 miles an hour. As the model name suggests, it includes all-wheel drive for extra traction too. 4-wheel drive comes with the flagship Model 2, the M235 X-Drive, which uses a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol unit that does without any electrified tech and delivers fractionally less power and torque than the previous generation version, but still puts out 300 horsepower. Its top variant makes 62 in 4.9 seconds and is electronically limited at 155 miles an hour. All 2 Series Gran Coupes now have to have automatic transmission. This is a redesigned 7-speed Steptronic dual clutch auto setup, complete with a boost pedal that gives the driver an extra burst of overtaking acceleration. The suspension has been thoroughly tweaked. BMW calls it adaptive, which isn't quite true. All 2 Series Gran Coupes feature passive suspension, but it's of the frequency selective kind that we saw first on the 3 Series. This doesn't allow the driver to alter ride comfort. Instead, the damper valving reacts differently to high and low frequency road surface inputs. Now you need this because due to the fact that only sport suspension is available across the range, this car does remain somewhat firm of ride, and that might not be welcome on your suburban morning commute, so we'd suggest you try it before you buy it. Not everyone liked the look of the original version of this car. Even BMW now calls the styling of that earlier F44 model polarizing, and they've tried to make this F74 replacement more widely appealing and sportier. It's certainly bigger. Length has been stretched by 20 mils to 4,546 millimeters, and the car's also gained 15 mils in both height, 1,435, and width, 1,800 millimeters. Here in profile, there's a new variation of the brand's signature Hofmeister kink in the rear pillar, which now features a 2 emblem. Plus, the side skirts have been reprofiled. There's less blank metal surfacing, and you can pay extra to get this contrast roof finish in high gloss black. Let's take a look inside though. Promisingly, the door shuts with a thunk that you don't normally get from a frameless design of this sort, but look around and it's soon clear that those 1 Series genes are really a lot more evident here in the cabin, where the 2 cars pretty much share everything. There are a few detailed differences over the hatch, such as the avant-garde silver slashed panels at either end of the dashboard and the different positioning of the door handles and of the window controls. But apart from that, this F74 model gets a pretty standard version of the Munich maker's latest cockpit for compact cars, with the twin screens of the BMW Live Cockpit Plus setup. Look around and it all feels pretty premium, with even mainstream variants featuring heated sports seats trimmed in black M Alcantara and Veganza upholstery. Plus there's illuminated aluminium hexacube interior trim with classy ambient lighting and an anthracite headliner. The tricolour M stitching on the passenger side of the dashboard is a lovely touch too, and there's also a satisfyingly thick rimmed but rather oversized M steering wheel with large gear shift paddles. You might hope that the exterior size changes of this F74 era design would improve rear seat space a bit over the first generation version of this model. That is, however, a bit of a vain hope because the 20mm length increase is down to different bumpers rather than a wheelbase increase. Thanks to the small door opening and the narrow windows, it still remains pretty difficult to get a child seat or something like that in the back here, and you still have to dip your head a bit to get in. Once inside, it's immediately obvious that the spatial differences with this second generation model aren't all that great. You are better off back here than you would be in a 1 Series hatch though. And to be honest, really, legroom isn't that much different to what you get in a 3 Series saloon. And it is much less of a coal hole back here than it used to be with the old car. And that's helped by these large rear quarter-light windows here. Let's finish with a look out back, where the boot lid rises to reveal a disappointingly small 360 litre space, which is 70 litres down on the first generation 2 Series Gran Coupe and 45 litres down on the rival Mercedes CLA. Now, this shortfall is almost entirely due to the mild hybrid system, which sits beneath the boot floor on this volume 220 variant and its 223 mid-range counterpart. The top M235 variant lacks MHEV tech and therefore can offer up to 430 litres of boot space. That is in theory 50 litres more than the equivalent M135 hatch, but that capacity wouldn't be as useful in the real world because of this narrow boot opening, of course. BMW isn't developing any more combustion engines, but it's doing its best to improve efficiency on the fossil fuel units it does already have. The 3-cylinder, 48-volt mild hybrid, 1.5 litre petrol engine used by this 220 model is of the latest generation of BMW Group modular engines and delivers up to 53.5 miles per gallon on the combined cycle and up to 120 grams per kilometre of CO2 emissions. Small saloons used to sell to quite elderly clientele, so what BMW's achieved with the 2 Series Gran Coupe model line is impressive. This car has the lowest customer age of any BMW, a trend that this sharper looking F74 generation design should further encourage. Far-reaching as the changes are though, we still can't imagine that they make you want a 2 Series Gran Coupe if you didn't want one already. But if Munich's idea of what a small 4-door coupe should be appeals to you, then this car will please you even more than its slightly controversial predecessor.